Tell us what you think. In person, over the phone, online. Watch and hear yourself on TV. You tell us, we air it. This is The Local Live.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Siobhan Flattery.
And I'm Alina Suriel. Welcome to the 23rd edition of The Local Live.
That's right, guys. You're watching the only broadcast focused on community stories from Larchmont, Mamaroneck, and Rhinebeck.
Tonight, we're joined by three guests, Kent Skates, Sharon Mosley, and Ann West, who are practicing therapists in alternative healing.
But first, let's take a quick look at the stories we have prepared for you tonight.
Which member of the Board of Trustees will not be on the ballot in this year's election?
The Mamaroneck School District budget is passed, and the newest board members are elected.
Finding great fashion is a fun way to give back to the community. The Local Live goes shopping.
A whole day teaching families about safety. LMC was there.
Well, what do you know? This sweetheart is looking for a new home, and she's as cute as can be. We'll give you the details on how you can adopt her.
And last but not least, we will reveal the nominees for LMC's annual Video Award Night. The Democratic Party's nominees for the Mamaroneck Village Board of Trustees election has been announced. On the ballot for November are sitting board members Alyssa Miller and Leon Potok, as well as newcomer David Finch. Noticeably absent from the ballot is current village trustee Andres Bermudez Hallstrom, who spoke to us Wednesday.
Given two somewhat vague reasons. The first one is apparently there was some objection to some of my comments online. I presume it's about the nature of representative democracy. Maybe they had a problem with me calling it a Republican form of government, which it is, small r Republican. And then apparently I upset some people by challenging them openly.
In a press release from the Democratic Nominating Committee, former committee chair Elsa Porter-Rubin stated, "Our 2014 state is comprised of some of the brightest and most thoughtful people in the village. Their combined skills of financial experience, open-minded sensitivity to social issues, civility in conducting the public's business, and varied life experience make these candidates the best choice for the village."
The Mamaroneck Union Free School District held a vote on Tuesday to decide both next year's budget and the two open school board seats. Current board vice president Ann LeBeau will be returning for another term, and newcomer Steve Warner has been elected to fill the second seat.
I grew up in the district. My parents were very involved with the community, and as I spent, my time growing up in the district, having my kids go through the public schools, I wanted to be able to give something back to the district, and I hope I can over the next 3 years.
I'd just like to say thank you to all the people who supported this budget and who supported me in becoming re-elected to the board. It's been a fantastic experience, and I look forward to the challenges of the year ahead.
In addition to electing the school board members, constituents cast their votes for next year's school budget. 78% of voters voted in favor of the budget, and 22% voted against. Rhinebeck voters also passed their budget with an overwhelming majority at 83.2%. You can find out more information on the coming school year's budget on the Mamaroneck Union Free School District website.
Coming up is Mike Witch's In the Media segment, keeping you connected to everything trending and newsworthy in the local media.
The Mamaroneck Review reports that after months of bickering between members of the Village of Mamaroneck Board of Trustees and the Volunteer Harbor Coastal Zone Management Commission, a majority vote on the board put to rest the issue of authority and procedure between the two. The trustees adopted an amendment to the village code that reduces the Harbor Coastal Commission to an advisory body. When it comes to determining if a proposed development is consistent with the village code and the local waterfront revitalization program. However, several present and former commission members spoke out against the amendment, Said Clark Nuringer, a current Harbor Commission member, quote, "It means the trustees are interested in eliminating a very long-running and successful checks and balances system. At least one trustee agrees with him, but the majority decided to amend the code anyway. The full story is in the current Mamaroneck Review." Walter's Hot Dogs in Mamaroneck is back in business after 4 months of renovations. According to an article in the review, the landmark roadside stand, established in 1919 and on Palmer Avenue since 1928, is known for its grilled split hot dogs, secret butter sauce, and homemade mustard relish. Business has been booming since May 2nd opening, says the review. Walter's is now open from 10:30 to 7:30 p.m. on weekdays and 11:30 to 7:30 p.m. on weekends. You can read what's new and improved and who decided to build that Chinese pagoda in the Mamaroneck Review. A former branch manager at the TD Bank on Chatsworth Avenue in Larchmont has pled guilty to stealing $745,000 from customers. The Loop has the story of how Jeremy Winter transferred funds but covered his tracks until the bank caught on. Winter was arrested by Larchmont police a year ago, February, and will be sentenced this August. He will repay all the money and faces a maximum of 15 years in prison. According to a recent Larchmont Patch article, Jacob is now more popular than Michael. Well, that's if you're talking about names for new baby boys. For baby girls, the top name is still Sophia. So says the Social Security Administration. Michael had been the top name in New York since 1965. News from the Larchmont Patch that the Volunteer Ambulance Corps has elected new officers and board members. Alexander Rapp was elected chief, Carly Castorella captain, and 2 lieutenants, Mike Liu and Grant Nashanian. Grant was also elected president of the board of directors. The Volunteer Ambulance Corps provides emergency medical services for residents and visitors of the village of Larchmont and the unincorporated area of the town of Mamaroneck. Whenever 911 is called for an ambulance, EMTs and paramedics respond. VAC always welcomes new members and trains them for free. For more information, visit their website, larchmontvac.org. Well, those are a few of the local items that caught my attention this week in the media.
Hey guys, you're watching the Local Live. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Thank you for joining the Local Live Roundtable tonight. I'm Michael Witch, and beside me, Mona Carlin.
Mike.
This evening, the Local Live explores alternative medicine, complementary therapies that have proven healing power in addition to what your medical doctor prescribes.
Specifically, we'll hear about acupuncture, massage, Reiki, and herbal therapy, and we invite you to ask questions by phone, email, or tweet. Call into the show at 381-0150, email thelocallive@lmc-tv.org, or tweet at thelocallive. That information also will be on screen during the conversation. So, Mike, who are tonight's guests?
Well, our guests tonight are 3 practitioners. They're professionals. They're licensed to offer a variety of therapies. And I'll start with Ann West, whom I've known for several years. Ann works at Northern Westchester Hospital. She works with cancer patients, and she's an acupuncturist and herbalist, and she has a private practice as well. Kent Skates is a licensed massage therapist who combines Western sports medicine and physical therapy science with Eastern practices of massage and Reiki. And Sharon Mosley has a private Reiki practice in New Rochelle. She's also a Reiki master, and she teaches the technique. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I have to tell our audience that just before we went on the air, they were all calming themselves down with their individual secret therapies. And maybe we'll find out what some of those secrets are for calming yourself down.
Oh, actually there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, we called this segment alternative healing when we advertised it online. And I'm wondering whether that's the best way to describe what you do. Let me start with you. Is it alternative and is it healing?
Well, it is. It's both. And the word, it originated years ago. They would call us alternative healers, where it was separate from Western medicine. So you had it was a division, right?
And Western medicine would be like your internist.
Yeah, Western medicine is going to the doctor, getting, your antibiotics for a cold or something, going to the cardiologist, and the standard of care would be to provide, medication or change in diet. So alternative healers would be the indigenous healers, traditional healers, Reiki, Oriental medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and they would kind of make that split. But as we've evolved through the years, they've changed that to complementary, which was more, okay, why don't we complement each other? And now it has gone into what the new phrase is more integrative medicine. So integrative medicine is using the best of all the ancient techniques and the ancient systems of healing, the very old systems of healing, like Oriental medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, Native American traditional healing. There's all different types of healing practices that are involved.
So is it too fantastic to think that your regular doctor is going to suggest that you have some acupuncture or some massage or some Reiki?
No, about 15 years ago, it would be pretty, you wouldn't find so many physicians.
Yeah.
Now, many of the physicians, especially ones that I'm working with, they're much more open to, they see the benefit. At the beginning, when I was working in the cancer center, it was a little bit, wondering who I am I going to try to take them away from their traditional care, which I wasn't, and they gained that trust, and it's been a really wonderful experience to see them merging, but we have a long way to go.
Did you?
I didn't.
Do we have?
We do have questions.
Oh, okay. Can we go to a question?
We can. The
All
first
right.
question is, can a Reiki practitioner perform Reiki long distance?
Yeah.
Long distance. Sharon, do you want to take that question?
Well, first I wanted to make a little correction. I'm not licensed. I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I'm able to teach, and I'm certified by my teacher, and I have a lineage. But I am not licensed because I do not treat and diagnose. So
Is there a license for Reiki in New York State or
No.
anywhere? No. Okay. So.
Okay, so.
So
back
you
to your
don't treat and
question.
you don't diagnose.
No.
Okay.
What I do is stress reduction and relaxation.
And that's why you're so calm right now. You were working on yourself. Stress reduction and relaxation. Can that be done, as the questioner asked, long distance?
Yes, it can. What we do is we either have a surrogate, meaning like a stuffed animal that represents the person, or a photograph of the person, and then we do a full treatment. Long distance means they're not sitting in front of me, they're somewhere else.
Very interesting. May I ask you, Kent, about massage?
Yes.
I have never heard anybody say that massage is bad. It's good for almost everything that ails you.
It's good for everything that ails you.
Yeah. Do insurance companies recognize that as well?
It is becoming more, I guess I would say mainstream, more accepted by some insurance companies. It's been a long time coming, but I would say that with any holistic practice, they're beginning to recognize the benefits of it. More from a preventative standpoint, to help prevent disease, just like the Reiki, kind of help to calm people down, to relieve stress, anxiety, and that's
But there
really
are
the main
also
goal.
massage techniques that sort of dig into muscles. It's not all, I guess you'd call it Swedish massage that I've heard of the most, which is nice, gentle stroking of the body.
There are all different types and scopes of massage. Swedish is probably one of the more well-known when people think of massage. It's more kind of a relaxing, long, kind of gentle strokes. There's deep tissue, which really gets deep into the muscle, break up adhesions. There are other techniques, shiatsu techniques, which is similar to acupuncture. It uses the acupressure points on the body, but without the use of needles. In terms of traditional Chinese medicine, you work the energy meridians within the body. which is something that's, I would say, not well known within Western medicine and Western science.
We do have another email,
Okay.
Mike. Angelica wants to know, well, she says that she's heard that from a number of people that different types of alternative healing may be able to help her quit her horrible smoking habit. Is this true? If so, how would that work and what should she use? She's willing to try anything.
Smoking is very, it's an addiction that's very complex because it's not just a physiological addiction, but it's you have the inhalation, so it's the breathing in, it's a ritual. So there are many techniques that can work. The main thing though is having the person be completely committed and really wanting to quit. So nothing's going to be magical. Although some people have tried acupuncture once and they've stopped. Other people need a little bit more help with that. But we do ear points, auricular acupuncture. They practice this in substance abuse and detox in Lincoln Hospital. There's been a lot of research around that to help with addictions. Reiki is wonderful, massage is wonderful, because anything that's going to help to come back to center, relax the body, we're going to make healthier choices. So if I'm coming from a nice, comforting, relaxed space, those choices are going to be coming from a better place than when I'm stressed and moving. But if we want to look also at the emotional aspect of why am I smoking? Why am I taking that cigarette? It's usually what we call, it's like a smoke screen, smoke and mirrors.
No pun intended.
Yeah, kind of, sometimes the emotions are there and we use that as a way to just move through some of the stress. It becomes a stress management.
Do you also have to break up the habit? For example, if you're used to having a cigarette with your coffee in the morning,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
a behavioral piece to it.
Exactly. It's a ritual piece, right? So instead of having the coffee and then, having the cigarette, you're going to change it up a little bit. Maybe making some herbal tea or going for a walk or doing some yogic breathing. So the breath. There's also aromatherapy oils that we use too. So,
I would say that again, I can't say that we treat or diagnose anything, but I would say in our practice where our hand placements are where the meridian points are. So if that's an issue, then we would be able to feel it and kind of move the blockage with our hands.
And the one thing too in Reiki that's so great is that you also can do a mental emotional healing. So with the affirmations, and there's certain things that we do as a practitioner that help to to really bounce things out. And the other thing I wanted to speak into is there is more and more research. There definitely is research to show this sort of mysterious, what is this? The the air that we breathe, we don't see it, but it's real, it exists. And there is more and more research in quantum physics that's coming out. They actually did some research with radiation patients that were receiving Reiki, and they actually improved.
Radiology patients.
Yeah, so the research is there, and we could have another talk about that, but to really put the grounding into what we're doing. So.
You've all mentioned meridians.
I'm sorry, I just want to interrupt because we do have a caller on the phone. We'd like to get to them.
Yes,
Caller,
go ahead.
You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Christina, and I have a question about acupuncture and Reiki alternatives for pregnant women. So I'm a doula, a birth doula, and I have a lot of clients who have either breech babies at the end of their pregnancy or having a lot of hip and groin pain, or just they're way past their due date and they want to do some natural induction methods. And most of their doctors or midwives tell them, acupuncture won't do anything.
No,
so I would like some comments on that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's. I don't want to take up all, but please, just tell me.
Didn't you see the size of relief?
No, this is like one of my specialties is also working a lot with fertility patients and women. The acupuncture is wonderful. I also do something called Mayan abdominal massage, but anything to keep the flow, the meridians open, you're going to help enhance fertility. Again, there are studies, even pre and post fertility treatments, it actually enhances things. Turning babies, a breech baby, it's a little tricky. That's if there's some situations you have to make sure you're working with the midwife and the physician. And I have seen women turn a breech baby that I've worked with, and by doing the sonogram and everything. So it's been pretty impressive. So things definitely work that can be a little bit unexplainable, but we use a lot of herbs and acupuncture treatments for fertility. I hope I answered that.
Go ahead, Sharon.
I would say for Reiki, it's not contraindicated because it's not invasive. So the hands are either 4 inches above, a few inches above, or if the if the person is comfortable, we place the hands on them. So I don't see that that would be contraindicated for a person who, a pregnant woman who has issues and would probably be stress reducing.
I also want to stress one thing. I don't turn the breech baby. And there are some issues if a baby's transverse, you're not going to do this, but there are points on the body, on the toes. So we're actually using moxa on the toes. And was it caused by me? I don't know, but they're always in constant communication with the physician. So I don't turn breech babies.
We do have another email, and it's kind of the other end of the spectrum.
This is a popular topic.
About older men and alternative healing. Andrew wants to know how he could dip his toe in the alternative healing pool. He says that he's heard about it, but he's never been brave enough to try it. He's afraid of needles, so he can't imagine having acupuncture, but he'd like to know how to get involved in Reiki and shiatsu massage.
Okay. Let's give it to Ken for a
second. Certainly the first step is being open and willing to try it. In terms of my personal attitude, if you are open and willing to try something, then it may work for you. If you're closed-minded about something, then you won't be, energetically, you won't be open to the full benefits of it. If you're interested in trying a Reiki session, if you're interested in a shiatsu massage session, I would say talk to people that you know who have tried these therapies. My advice is the best recommendations come from people you know, from actual experience. And sure, you could flip through the phone book to find these practitioners, but if it's not based on anything, you never know what you're going to get. But if it's coming from a trusted recommendation, somebody you know who's had success with this particular practitioner, then by all means, go ahead and try it.
I've heard people say before that they're afraid of needles. The needles, and I've had acupuncture. In fact, you've been one of my therapists. But you almost don't feel anything because the needles you use are very thin.
They're very, very thin. They're even a little bit flexible, so they're very thin. It's not painful. There are different styles of acupuncture, so Japanese techniques are a little bit more softer and gentle. Traditional Chinese medicine may create a little more sensation, but no practitioner, I think also I want to jump off of what you said, no practitioner should make you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So I always tell people, if someone says that they're going to heal you and they're going to do something to you and the healing's not coming innately from within you, but they're going to find out what your issues are, then I'd say run as fast as you can. Because that's not what we do. It's about really complementing and allowing that patient's own healing ability to be ignited with the treatments and the sessions.
Does that necessarily mean that you have to be a, quote, believer in, let's say, Reiki to benefit from Reiki or massage or acupuncture?
I'll answer this twofold. The first thing I would say to the emailer is to start at the library. There are tons of books on Reiki. And that's a way to get started, is to read and see if you're comfortable. And in fact, I think the Westchester Library System has a Reiki kit with a video so that you can go through the, just go through the process of it and see what it's about before you take a class. I believe the Wainwright House has Reiki 1 and 2 classes. That's a place to start with Reiki. Another thing that I would suggest is to trust, and I think we've said that as well, is to trust your feelings about who to work with. If you don't feel comfortable working with the person, you shouldn't. I mean, this is really kind of intuitive work as well. So I think you really have to trust the person that you're working with. And
so recommendations from friends would be important, but
yes,
also
but if you don't know anyone,
right.
then I would suggest you start at the library. It's free. You're not paying for anything. You know, it's in a book. You can read about it. There's plenty of books that have the background of Reiki, and you could read them and get a sense of what it is.
And probably the internet has it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Information.
Well, yes. Well, you
Yes.
know, another place you could go is to Reiki, Reiki.org, which is the International Reiki Association, and they have a list of practitioners who are available in your area if you'd like to find a Reiki practitioner to see what it's about.
Okay.
We refer to this a lot as complementary medicine, but are there methods that are not complementary to each other, that you shouldn't have acupuncture if you're having a massage, or, you know, I use that as an example, but are there some that you shouldn't do together?
I mean, some people say you shouldn't have homeopathy and acupuncture because they're both energy medicine. I don't agree with that.
Define homeopathy?
Homeopathy is a system of healing that was developed, I can't remember when, but it's pretty old. It has a lot of scientific roots. It's like treating like. So for example, when you're cutting an onion, your eyes water. So Allium cepa, which is an onion, or the Latin name, I guess, for onion, they take a dose, like a physical constituent of the Allium cepa, and then they keep diluting it. So there's no physical constituent of that in the pellet. You're now left with an energetic sort of imprint of that, And then you treat that. So you're having runny nose, watery eyes, itchy, from allergies. You would take something like treating like with like.
Oh.
So, but in a different type of medicine. Not like a Tylenol, full-blown physiological, this is going to do this to the body. It's more of an energetic. Same with like flower essences. There's a lot we can talk about.
Can I just
say
that, in my opinion, I don't think that you should do like 5 different things at one time. I think you should allow, if you're going to do Reiki, and I don't do people over and over and over again, like in the same month. Because I feel that, you have to let the body process what happened, and you have to let the person process what happened. Because it's not just me doing the work, it's you doing the work. So it's about you, it's not really about me. So you have to give the body an opportunity to do what it needs to do.
We actually have another email. I'm sorry,
I was
Mike.
just going to say, we've got about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes left. So, folks, if you've got a question, a topic, now's the time to call in or email in or tweet in. Maura?
There is one more email right now about Reiki. Wondering what kinds of sensations the provider feels while practicing, and do you get visions while working on someone?
You too, yeah.
Well, Anne, you do Reiki as well, yes?
I do. I don't want to. No, I mean, I don't want to say you get visions, but you do. Sometimes you sense things. You get images. You get. It depends on where you see things. We either see things with our internal eye. We can feel things, hear things, and if we're sensitive enough, you can pick up on that.
Are they telling you, are the parts of the body where there might be a blockage or something, or are they telling you to have pizza for dinner?
No, there's no usually. I mean, I don't. It's not a they, but it could be. But your hands kind of will gravitate to where the body needs it, and you can feel sort of warmth and coolness and sort of heavy energy, stuck energy. It's the sensations that you've practiced. I mean, I've been practicing since 1993, and it's still something that I don't feel like I'm perfected in. It's an always evolving, healing process.
Is that like when you do a massage, you can feel a tight muscle? Is it similar to that?
Anatomically, yes, you can feel adhesions. I can feel if a muscle's torn. I can feel if the connective tissue is tight and bound up. On the energetic side, I know people, and I've also had experiences where you can see sort of an auric field. Sometimes I see energy moving from the body into the body. I as Ann had mentioned, sometimes you feel sort of an inner guidance that's coming from elsewhere, from spirit, from whatever you want to describe it.
Yeah.
But it's more, and Sharon touched on this before, it's a very intuitive, I guess I would say, art form or craft, skill, gift, however you want to term it. And it only increases with experience.
Janet wanted to know about Maya abdominal therapy. Do you know anything about that?
That's what I do practice that, but I don't know how much time we have. But it's a traditional healing art that was practiced by midwives in Belize and in other countries. In fact, I had it done to me by a Filipino healer. But this technique helps to reposition. It's done externally on the belly to help keep the uterus in alignment. The uterus is held by ligaments, and running on hard cement surfaces, all these different things, childbirth, heavy lifting, can weaken those ligaments, and the uterus can change its position very easily over time.
She wanted to know about using it to break up adhesions following surgery.
It can break up adhesions after surgery. Even a woman that has had a hysterectomy, it's very good at breaking up the adhesions. It's wonderful. And we also use different other modalities with it. So it's great stuff.
Sharon, you had a point you wanted to make.
I wanted to make a clarification about Reiki. Every student has their own gift. So the way they interpret what is going on during the healing session may be different. Now, what he may feel may be different than what I sense. I can feel the energy in the palm of my hand. Sometimes I'll get, images in my mind of what's going on. But everybody's different. So during training, you kind of find out where your strength is. And that will be the way you interpret what's going on with the person that you're working on. So it's different for each practitioner's individual.
We actually caught an orb on tape, so it was pretty cool at the hospital. There was a light that came out in a picture that we took. I'd love to show it to you guys.
Wow.
And all the people in the hospital that were the naysayers said, "Oh, what is that?" And it was very unexpected. So I don't know. You can explain another time.
We should have another show on this.
Yeah.
I did want to just ask one thing before we wrap up, and that is storefronts that are advertising foot rubs, shiatsu massage. How does somebody who wants to, as one of the callers said, dip his foot into something? How do you determine that you've got a
New York State is
practitioner?
one of the toughest states to practice the art of massage. I get really fired up about it because a lot of people that go on to massage school to get their license as a massage therapist spend a lot of money, a lot of hours of training to practice a profession. Reflexology does not fall under massage. You can have a certification in New York State, although the New York State Reflexology Association is looking to try to make that a licensure. So pretty much anybody could practice reflexology. However, once you use oil or massage or lotion and you apply that to the skin, it now becomes a massage in New York State. So unless someone has a license to practice massage, if they're using oil or lotion and applying that as friction on the skin, that is considered massage. So technically, that does not fall under unless somebody has a license in
So
massage.
if you go to a place, do you ask to see a license or a certification, or you ask where were you trained?
I do.
Yes?
Absolutely.
Shouldn't it be posted, in a place that the customer can see it?
It should be posted. Anyone working at that facility, if they are licensed, there will be a copy of their license in the facility, whether it's posted on the wall or in a file somewhere. It will be there, so you can ask for it. I guess my advice on that subject is use your intuition, just like anything in life. If you go walk by a storefront and all the windows are blacked out and you can't see what's going on, kind of makes you a little wary. If you see a storefront, windows are wide open, you can see into the space, you can see the people coming and going. It's a little bit more inviting. For me, that would be a little bit more secure. Certainly that's no guarantee, but there are a lot of people, I can't call them practitioners, but there are a lot of people who work without a license. And in terms of the reflexology, the foot rubs, I believe in New York State, you actually do need a therapeutic license, a license to touch. So what many reflexologists do is go on and get their massage
you
license.
actually don't need the license. Because they consider it it's a pressure. So it's like acupressure. Because just working with someone who's actually the president with the New York State Reflexology Association, you don't need a license. That's the problem. That's the problem, because anybody can really get certified, but if they're using oil and lotion, that changes it.
But don't they require a certain amount of hours?
Yes.
Yes.
But it's
There's a
only
certification for it.
certification, but no, you don't. It's not enforced because it's not a license.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it here. But I thank all of you for coming in tonight and answering
Thank
all those
you.
questions. And God, we could do a long show about this.
we really
a much
could.
longer show. Thank you for joining us at the Local Live and graciously, as I said, responding to our questions and comments.
Remember, if you have any ideas for a future roundtable discussion, you can write to us at thelocallive@lmc-tv.org or tweet us at thelocallive. We love hearing from our viewers.
For Maura Carlin and the staff and volunteers of the Local Live, I'm Michael Witch. We thank you for participating.
And stay tuned. We'll be right back with more community stories.
Hi, I'm Westchester County Legislator Catherine Parker. Watch The Local Live on Thursday at 7:30 before I make it a law.
This week in sports, the Mamaroneck boys lacrosse team topped North Rockland to advance to the Section 1 championship game for the third consecutive year. Goalie Jake Rosen used his head to help out the team in the LMC Varsity Sports Play of the Week.
But now cleared away by North Rockland. They move. It's an unsettled situation here. This is Kelly. That shot save was made by Jake Rosen on the shot from Michela. A big save there by Rosen keeps the Mamaroneck lead at 2. And the Tigers with possession.
We all want our children to be safe in our community. On May 17th, the Village of Mamaroneck hosted a family day and safety fair where kids and adults learned about the types of safety precautions they can practice in our community. Come check it out.
Families and friends in Mamaroneck gathered in Harbor Island Park this weekend for the village's first Family Day Safety Fair.
We're having all kinds of activities to really get everybody down here in Harbor Island Park for a wonderful summer.
Hey, my name's Gabe Derrickoff, and welcome to Safety Day.
Community organizations had tables to give out information on physical and emotional safety, as well as safety of your finances.
Hi, my name is Janet Buckbinder, and I am part of the Community Coalition Radar, Larchmont Mamaroneck Radar. Our focus is on reducing teen substance abuse.
Hi, I'm Kenya Martinez.
And I'm Sherry Gonzalez.
And we're from Victims Assistance Services. Basically what we do, we offer, we're a non-for-profit that offers services to all of Westchester. And we assist with all victims of crime. All our services are confidential and free. And we do things like accompany people to court, to the police department.
Of course, no safety fair would be complete without safety officers.
Hi, I'm Detective DeRusa with the Village of Mamaroneck Police Department. Here today to bring a focus on domestic violence. It's an important issue that we want to bring attention to today on Safety Day. We have many brochures, flyers, information for resources.
My name is Chief Tracy Schmaling from the Village of Mamaroneck Fire Department. We're here today demonstrating what is called a smoke trailer. This trailer simulates any type of smoke or hazards that occur in your house or your apartment. It simulates everything that children are supposed to be aware of.
It seems like everyone had a great time at the fair. Here's hoping that the community remembers to stay safe in their everyday lives. For The Local Live, this is Don Julian.
There aren't many vintage clothing shops in Mamaroneck Village, but the one we do have is a great asset. Alina Surreal took the local live on a shopping spree in the thrift shop of St. Thomas Episcopal Church. Let's see who she met.
St. Thomas's Church might not look like it, but they have a hidden gem right in their basement. Every Wednesday and Saturday, they host a thrift shop that has the whole neighborhood running for their bargains. We're going to take a look. The shelves in the secondhand shop of the church on West Boston Post Road are full of community donations, and it is this very abundance which prompted the church to organize the long-standing project. Ann Strahalski has been there since the very beginning.
This thrift shop was started about 20 years ago. Prior to that, we had a rummage sale twice a year. And it was a true rummage sale, auction. Anyway, it didn't really meet the needs of the people. This is something that's open, all year long. It gives people an opportunity to come in and get very reasonably priced clothing, stuff for the house, good deals.
The shop is run entirely by volunteers who have formed their own tight community while giving their time to help others.
Anybody can volunteer, actually. You don't have to be a church member to come and help us.
There's no paid positions, and a lot of the people who work here, like Darlene and Adrian, they put in tons of time.
I think my time is about 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And I don't mind doing it. I'm retired, and I enjoy doing something. I need something to do, so I come here and volunteer. And it's a good place to volunteer. The boss lady, Lynn, she's been very nice and very sweet to us, so we enjoy it.
I've been here a little over 2 years. Yeah, and I enjoy coming in. I'm retired also, and it gives us something to do. It's really a fun place to work.
Items are affordably priced at the church shop, and some have found a few name brand treasures marked down for many times less than they're worth at a department store.
Usually I look for like work clothes for my job and stuff like that. And and extra stuff for my son. The other day I went for an interview and my outfit was like a $300 outfit, and I was like, I got it at the thrift store for like $10 in total.
Children's clothes are very expensive, and they're very reasonable here, and they kind of fly out. People can buy shirts for like $1. They can buy children's clothes for 50 cents. So, prices are reasonable as opposed to store prices.
But even as there are so many great finds at the shop, the very best pieces are not out on the sales floor. These are set aside to be sold at a special annual event.
We have a sale every year. It's a fair and auction, and the better stuff goes to the fair and auction, and the proceeds from that does go to charity.
For the Local Live, I'm Alina Surreal. Meet Laura, one of the cutest little meatballs you'll ever meet. She is an American Stafford Terrier mix who is short, stocky, and snorts like an adorable piggy. Laura was found with her 2 puppies, starving and tied to a pole in the basement of a building. Her puppies have since been adopted, but Laura is still waiting for that special family to call her own. She gets along quite well with kids, cats, and other dogs, proving that she could be a great addition to any family out there. Please email Courtney at snarrnortheast.org for adoption information.
Every year, LMC TV gives out awards to the volunteers who work hard behind the scenes, editing, shooting, and producing content for our community. The Local Live's own Alina Sariel and Don Julian were in our studios to reveal this year's nominees.
Hi, I'm Alina Sariel.
And I'm Don Julian.
And we are from The Local Live.
We are here to announce the nominees for LMC TV's award night on June 10th.
The nominees for Best Series are The Way to Go, produced by Alan Bendich; Vistazos, produced by Maria Elena Carrillo; The Reverend and the Rabbi, Faith and Eggs, produced by Mike Charles; and Still Trying, produced by Henry Newberger.
The nominees for Best New Series are Word of Mouth, produced by Lee Stringer; Baseball 24/7, produced by Brendan Nashelski; The Good Night Show, produced by John Billett; Circles of Peace, produced by Hilda Fredericks; and The Nick Viaga Show, produced by Nick Viagas.
The nominees for Best Single Program are Kids for World Health, produced by Kay Kobe and Emily Wharton; Eveline, produced by Victoria Deco; Love and Persistence, produced by Paul Giordano. Larchmont Friends of the Family Fashion Show, produced by Nancy Gardner. And the 2013 Tree Lighting, produced by Roseanne Saraceno.
The nominees for Best Community Event Coverage are 2013 Kiwanis Car Show, shot by Kelvin Guevara. Ragamuffin Parade, shot by Andre Gordon. Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department Open House shot by Xavier Campo. How to Become a Teen Filmmaker, shot by Felix Giordano. And Soundwaters Boat Tour, shot by Stephen Briante.
The nominees for Best Community Event Editing are Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department Open House, edited by Philippa Wharton. Larchmont Arts Festival, edited by Lisa Curley. Soundwaters Boat Tour, edited by Frank Albori. Leprechaun Leap, edited by Xavier Campo. And Wine Trail, edited by Mark Rosenzweig.
The category we are most excited about is Best News Package. The nominees for this are The Duck Inn, reported by Catherine Castro. St. Patrick's Day Parade, reported by Alina Suriel. Chocolations, reported by Rebecca Berman. Larchmont Food Pantry, reported by Georgine Castillo. And Mamaroneck Playhouse Closure, reported by yours truly.
Yep. And the recipient for this year's Mary Ann Sullivan Award is Janet Baer.
So please come join us Tuesday, June 10th, 2014, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 1156 at 1288 Boston Post Road.
RSVP at lmctv@lmctv.org.
And good luck to all the nominees.
We can't wait to report on the winners.
Mamaroneck, I'm Carly Rose, and you are watching The Local Live.
Well, viewers, it appears that we are out of time. The Local Live will be back next week with continuing coverage.
That's right, guys. However, we will be missing our old anchor, Miss Jackie Grosha, who is leaving us to enjoy her last summer. Before going to college. We're always here to keep you updated on what's important in town or village. Keep in mind, we're always looking for volunteers, and it's a great way to get involved with your community.
It really is, Alina. Join the team for a fun and rewarding experience. As always, I'm Siobhan Flattery.
And I'm Alina Suriel. We'll catch everyone next time here at The Local Live. Bye-bye.
Tell us what you think. In person, over the phone, online. Watch and hear yourself on TV. You tell us, we air it. This is The Local Live.